Hey guys, welcome to episode 22 of the Blue Sky Lounge, a Disney Imagineering podcast. I am your host, Tyler Iantkow. Now, the Blue Sky Lounge is a community where people can come and share their blue sky ideas for anything Disney. Whether it's a new ride concept, resort, or even a bathroom idea, we want to hear about it and discuss it. Now, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you can watch it on our YouTube channel. And if this is your first time listening to the show, welcome! Go back and view our past episodes on YouTube, and if you have any ideas for any future show, we would love to hear from you. Now, our guest this week is Shelby. She and I had a discussion about what we would like to see built based off of the Disney feature, The Lion King. Please welcome Shelby to the show. All right, well, with us today is Shelby. Shelby, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Tell me about your Disney story. How has Disney affected your life, and how, because you used to work for Disney, so just kind of tell me about your Disney story.
My Disney story started actually when I was quite young. My parents would drive me and my sisters down to Disneyland, and my dad would tell us we were going to go get a chocolate bar, and we somehow ended up at the parks. So
12 hours later.
Yeah, right? Yeah. That's a really far for a chocolate bar, but hey, it was okay. So it started quite young, and I've just always grown up with that love. And I was lucky enough to be able to be a part of the Walt Disney Company as a cast member at the Disney store twice, actually. So I'm quite lucky that way. And again, just it was my happy place. Again, just speaking with people, making magic for them. It's always been a part of me. It's always been something I've enjoyed. And it's something that I try to bring joy to others with as well. So.
Very cool. Well, today's episode is about The Lion King. We're going to be discussing different types of ideas, if we have any for rides or restaurants or even bathroom concepts. If you have one, I don't know. I just said to you, all right, we're talking about The Lion King. Think about it and we'll talk about it. So let's jump right in there. What have you come up with for theming to The Lion King?
So when I think about The Lion King, one of the most iconic scenes that I think of, first of all, is that opening Circle of Life scene. It's Zazu flying over Pride Rock to land to see Mufasa and Sarabi. And my idea of a ride or an attraction for that would almost be similar to like a soaring over the world, or soaring over California, where you get to ride and you get to just see those views from above. So you can ride and you can go over Pride Rock, and you can go over the elephant graveyard. You can go over the oasis where he meets Timon and Pumbaa, and just view it that way as well. Just because, like I said, just that scene where you feel like you're flying, I would love to be able to be flying over it. Yeah,
that's really cool. That would be a really cool idea. As soon as you mentioned that, I envisioned Flight of the Banshee from Animal Kingdom, or Avatar, where you like get on the Banshee, so it's almost like you're getting on top of Zazu. That'd be really cool. Yes. I like that idea.
Yeah, and then like experiencing the wildebeest scene going down through that too.
That would be
yes.
That's a good way to scare kids.
Maybe they have to have a warning on the ride. Or do like Mission Space, and this is an orange one and this is a green one.
It's like Mission Space. That's excellent. I love that. Nobody dies in the green.
Yeah.
Somebody dies in the green. Excellent. All right. Very good. I like that. All right. I am going to come back with that because you mentioned the oasis where Simba meets Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
And my first attraction that I thought of, I think would be so much fun when Timon and Pumbaa are bowling for Buzzards.
Yes.
So I envision it kind of like, it could be like there's two ways that you could do it. You could do it similar to like a a Snow White Scary Adventure where you get into the car and you're going around, but it's a little bit faster. Think of like those carnival rides. We live in Calgary, so think of like the carnival rides at the Calgary Stampede, where it kind of like whips you around a corner in like a spooky house kind of thing, like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Something that's a little bit faster like that. And as you whip around the corner, there's like a buzzard there, and then you like bump it and it goes away. It like flies into the corner. I think that would be a lot of fun. And it could kind of go through like the story of the Lion King, or this maybe even the story of like Timon and Pumbaa. That would be kind of cool. The other ride that I envisioned was like Alien Swirling Saucers in Hollywood Studios, or Mater's Junkyard Jamboree in Cars Land, where you get in and it kind of just goes in the circle and you're in the back part, which swings out. I think that would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, that one would be good too. I like that one.
I don't know
now
why.
You've got my mind spinning.
Right? I that was like the first ride that popped in my head when I first thought about this topic. I'm like, bowling for buzzards would be fun.
Yes.
Cool. What about your next one?
I was also thinking a roller coaster.
Okay.
So almost similar to almost the Incredicoaster, where you kind of got the scenes.
Okay.
But you could have it kind of through the elephant graveyard.
Oh.
And then I was talking to my sister about this actually too. She's like, yeah, and then you could have like green geysers coming up. And I was like, yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. So almost you could either do it like I said, the Incredicoaster, or almost like Big Thunder, where you've got it kind of enclosed in spots, but also outdoors at others, and just like the scenes where you could have like the hyenas with the geysers and the going, and then there's like you could have like a little bloop when they're going down the bones.
Yeah, where it's kind of like up and down and up and down and up and down.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that. That's such a good idea. I never would have thought about it for the elephant graveyard. I had a roller coaster idea as well, theming it to the wildebeest migration, but not the iconic scene. Yes. Just you can see like Mufasa and Simba like looking on and be like, oh yeah, there's the wildebeest migration kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you're in like a wildebeest car and you're part of the migration. And I envision it like the Incredicoaster, where you just kind of start and it just zooms off, just like how the wildebeest just keep running. That's what I envision for this. And like you just kind of go around loops and curves, and it, with all the cars shaped like wildebeest, it looks just like a herd of wildebeest going down the track. I think that would be so much fun. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about a restaurant? Did you have an idea for a restaurant?
Not so much a restaurant. I was kind of thinking more of like a quick service.
Okay, that works.
Because then you could have almost themed food, like a Cub sandwich. Yeah, right? Or like Timon's luau pulled pork, or something like that, like having it more themed with food as opposed to a restaurant.
Okay, that's awesome. I like that. Timon's pulled pork.
Yeah. Luau pulled pork, or like grubs. You could have like a worms and dirt.
Yeah.
Something like that, and almost have it being like Andy's Toy Box at Toy Story Land, where you could still have the theming outside, but it's a quick service, so that there's that Lion King feel, but still the ability for the play on words. And
you could have like, have you been to Art of Animation resorts in Florida?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So in that resort, in the Lion King area, they have like the figures of Lion King characters all around. You could have that in that quick service area. I think that would be awesome. Exactly. Really cool, because there's not really a lot of meet and greet characters that you can meet for the Lion King. Like they had the hyenas in the parade, but
they have Timon and Rafiki.
Yeah, that's right. Timon and Rafiki. Yeah, that's true. But other than that, there's not a whole lot else. So you kind of could have it with have those characters kind of sprinkled around the land, similar to Toy Story Land, where there's like Rex on top of the building blocks and Jesse's holding on to the lights and stuff. Even though those characters are still around the pavilion, the land, you could have like Simba on top of like a rock in this eating area, and you could have like that elephant graveyard scene. You could have Scar on top of one of the rocks in that elephant graveyard. I think that would be really cool. A lot of fun. I think too. I really like the idea of a quick service. I never thought of a quick service when I was thinking of restaurants, but I love the theming that you did for the food for it. Like Timon's Luau pulled pork. I would have never thought of that. Like, it's perfect. I love it. And the Cub sandwich. Like, why wouldn't you have a Cub sandwich?
Right?
Shaped like a little lion paw?
Line.
Or have like a little lion paw like toasted on the bread?
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
There you go. That's great. One of the ideas for a restaurant that I had, there was a couple, or it could be similar to that of Be Our Guest, where there are different rooms from the film. So like in Be Our Guest, there's like the main dining hall, which is like the banquet, the ballroom, and then there's the West Wing, and then there's this little picture gallery that's not really in the movie, but it was just like, all right, whatever. So for the Lion King one, you could have like a Pride Rock area where it could be like Rainforest Cafe too, where like every half hour, 45 minutes, there's like the Circle of Life comes on, and like an animatronic Rafiki like raises Simba for this restaurant. And you could have like a dark elephant graveyard area, and you could have like the Oasis area. I think that would be a lot of fun for sure. The other cool thing is that you could have something similar to they used to do it at Chefs de France in the France Pavilion, where a little cart would go around, and like there would be an animatronic Remy on top of it. So you could do that with like an animatronic Timon. That would be really cool. Or like an animatronic Simba, maybe, or like a little lion cub Simba. And then you could have like a meet and greet with Timon, similar to Be Our Guest. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think having like the big dining area as Pride Rock, though, it gives you that big area similar to that of Be Our Guest, where you have that big ballroom. You could decorate it with tons of different like trees and foliage to like give it character and life and whatnot. And you have that big Pride Rock like coming out similar to the back of the ballroom where there's the snow coming down. I think there's a lot of different ideas that you could go with and run with it. You could do theming for food, whether it be you want it themed like you said with a Cub sandwich or the pulled pork or whatever, or you could even do like African type food similar to that of Boma or Jiku or whatever in Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah. Another thing that might be cool though, if they did like the Pride Rock in the main area, is almost you could do different weather too.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, because there's this scene where it's raining in Pride Rock, and then there's also the scene where it's really sunny and really nice, and they could almost do like a sunsetting thing because everything the light touches.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, if you could have like a whole day pass by in like 45 minutes, and you see, I don't know how they would do this, but if they could do this would be really cool. If you could see like the sun go across the roof and set, and then like 5 minutes later it'll do it again, and obviously it'll still be like light enough that you can see and eat and everything, but yeah, if you could like go through a day at Pride Rock and have different weather patterns, and have it be raining or really sunny or whatever, I think that would be a lot of fun. That's a really good idea. Very cool. what about what do you think like the big this is a really dumb question because I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, but what do you think like the big weenie of the land would be? Like what's the big iconic thing that people are going to remember from this land?
Oh, probably Pride Rock.
Yeah,
because that's just the entire entity of the Lion King, right? So it's this big iconic rock in the middle of everywhere that they're all fighting over. I would say either that, or if they had the giant elephant skull, because that's also something that people are very much know as well. But I would say Pride Rock would be the one.
The one thing that I was thinking of as well was you could have a playground for kids similar to that of the Boneyard in Dino Land, where you could build, like, maybe it's on part of Pride Rock or whatever, where the kids can go and play in Pride Rock and, you know, pretend to be lions. And it would be cool if you could connect it via a bridge somehow to the elephant graveyard part, and they could play in the elephant graveyard, and, you know, with that big elephant skull that you were talking about, that could be like a slide going down where you could slide down the tusk and stuff. I think that would be really cool. I know my kids would love to play on that, and I'm sure, you know, the kids that are living in your house would love it too. So
they definitely would. Yeah.
So I think that would be a lot of fun for sure. And, you know, who doesn't love a playground? I love playgrounds.
I know. I'm sitting here like, I want to play on that.
Right?
Get the kids. I think that would be the problem, is they'd have to have one for kids and then one for adults, because we're going to want to play on it too.
Yeah. I remember when we were in New York a couple of years ago, we were in Central Park and Arthur was climbing up a slide, and he was like 3 at the time, I think. He was climbing up a slide to go down, and he got scared, and so I had to like climb up after them. I'm like, all these kids are behind me, and I'm like, sorry, I got to go up there. And I'm like, yes, I get to go on the slide.
I'm so glad he did this.
Yeah. And then like whenever we're at parks or whatever, he'll be like, all right, Daddy, come down the slide. And it's like one of those really tight, twisty slides, and I'm 6'5", like, not going down it easily, but I like contort myself and get down there somehow.
The things you do for your kids, you make it work.
Right? You know, hashtag parent life. Excellent. Okay, I want to ask you, is there one more thing or a couple more things? I'm not sure how many you came up with, but do you have anything else in your storage that you thought of while you were getting ready for this episode?
You know, I thought of so many, like I just kept thinking, and I was like, what is the one, like the one thing about Lion King that just is the thing that makes me love it? Is it's the movie, but it's also the music. So I'm not entirely sure, like maybe if there was like a PhilharMagic type thing where you could have the music and have the 3D effects where, you know, your seat's rumbling because it's the wildebeest scene, or it's the be prepared and the hyenas are all marching. Like it's just something like that. So you get the air at your face from the geysers, you get all that. But so just something with the music, because to me it's one of the best parts of that movie is what do you think of?
It's one of the few things that kind of makes the movie. Like there are some movies where you're like, oh yeah, that's a really nice song, but The Lion King is like both the score and the songs are like on point with that movie. Like they definitely pull at your emotions for sure. So I think that is a brilliant idea. The fact that you kind of went with the PhilharMagic, I really like the idea, and I like the idea too of like the rumbling seats. Like that almost sounds similar to like, you know, A Bug's Life kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's tough to be a bug where like the bugs are crawling under your seats and stuff, and I think that would be a lot of fun. And like you said, like you could feel the seats rumble from, you know, the hyenas marching or from the wildebeest running or anything like that. I think a lot of people would really enjoy that. It would be really cool if they could do that, but not necessarily in a Lion King land, but just put it somewhere and have it be like almost like a theater, and you could do it for different movies.
Yes.
So like one of the ones that comes to my mind would be like Entangled, where they're talking about having like I Have a Dream at the Snuggly Duckling Bar. You just have like the waft of like, I don't know how you would do it for children, but like the waft of kind of like stale beer from like a pub, you know what I'm talking about, but you need to do it so that a kid can understand it.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Maybe like chicken wings or something, and you see lots of chicken wings on the table. I don't know.
Chicken wings or just fried food.
Yeah, right? But and like kids don't drink beer, but but it's kind of the thing that
the smells and the,
yeah, like the smell would come through. I think that would be a lot of fun. Or you could do you know, a whole new world, and where you're going across the world with Aladdin and Jasmine. You can have you know spices from China or India or wherever they're going, and have like those hit your face from the smellinators or whatever they're called. I think that would be a lot of fun. So very cool. Well, Shelby, thank you so much for giving us some of your ideas. I really appreciate it. And I have really loved having you contribute to the podcast. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I really hope that you can come back on and we'll chat some more about something else.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Enjoying your time at the Blue Sky Lounge? Be sure to check out our TeePublic store. Show your fandom of thinking, dreaming, believing, and daring yourself to use your imagination. Our store features adult and kids apparel, face masks, housewares like mugs and pillows, tech cases, and much more. To find your design, follow the link in the description below. See you there. Plus, there's a sale on this week. From April 14th through 16th, you'll receive 35% off everything in the store. Remember, just follow the link in the description down below. Welcome back. Now this week, people had Hakuna Matata with coming up with ideas for the Lion King. First off, Kirsty suggested having a roller coaster similar to that of a wildebeest idea we mentioned earlier, only this one is themed as a lion. She said guests would get into a car shaped like a lion and go through the Pride Land, seeing the kingdom. You can even go through the wildebeest stampede in the gorge. Now Kirsty, I think this is a great idea. When I first read it, I got the visualization that it could be similar to that of the Kraken coaster in SeaWorld Orlando, where you put on a VR headset and the visual image that you see projected through the headset would match that of the track layout. Then guests would literally be the Lion King touring the kingdom. For instance, a big drop hill could represent the lion following the stampede of wildebeest down into the gorge. I think that would be a lot of fun, and as a guest, you could choose whether or not you wanted to wear the VR headset or not. I know some people do get motion sickness from it. Now, thanks so much, Kirsty, for that great idea. And both Alex and Danielle suggested to do a water park theme to the Lion King. Alex thought that the theme for the park should be that of the oasis where Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa live. The giant pool would represent the lake from the movie, and there would be a bunch of water attractions all around the rest of the park. Danielle, on the other hand, thought that Pride Rock should be the center point of the park with a themed water ride. She then goes on to say, Outer Lands would feature a desert area, a beach-like area, and then a jungle area featuring various slides, water coasters, lazy river, waterfalls, and vine swings. I could see an elephant graveyard play area too, possibly for the little kids. I would envision interactive features throughout the park and some traditional rides as well, and restaurants too. For instance, a themed flume ride, or Timon and Pumbaa's Grub Pub, or something like that. Danielle, these are great ideas. I love the fact that you are pulling different locations from the movie to different areas of your park. And I think that it's such a neat idea to have the interactive aspects like the vine swings, similar to that of the movie when Simba goes swinging into the pool. And Timon and Pumbaa's Grub Pub sounds great. I envision it being similar to that of what Shelby was mentioning earlier with her quick service idea. So thank you so much, Danielle and Alex. Christina mentioned it would be a great idea if there was a Lion King version of Storytime with Belle, but have it as Storytime with Timon. You could have kids act out as different animals, and of course grubs, and instead of two grown-ups as suits of armor, they could be hyenas maybe. Now, Christina, as a parent of 2 small children, this really makes me happy. I had the pleasure of going into Storytime with Belle, and I got to be one of the adult volunteers who was a suit of armor. And who doesn't love a talking Timon character like in Festival of the Lion King? And speaking of Festival of the Lion King, my wife said that there should be more theaters of that show in all Disney parks around the world, and I agree. I think it's one of the best shows that Disney has produced in the parks, and besides, the world needs more tumble monkeys. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you to all those who submitted ideas for this last-minute change. Sorry that we're not doing our Hunchback episode, but we will try and get that one up as soon as possible. Now, if you enjoyed this week's show, please leave a comment down below. We would love to hear from you. And if you want to leave your ideas or opinions for a future show, leave a comment in our Facebook community or Reddit pages. The links are also listed down below. Also, feel free to contact me at theblueskylounge@gmail.com or on most social media platforms by searching the Blue Sky Lounge. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you do like the show, please feel free to share it with your friends on social media. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Now, please note that the Blue Sky Lounge is not affiliated with the Disney company in any way. This is a fan-run show featuring fan ideas and artwork that is in no way any true representation of what may or may not happen within the Disney company. Now, thank you so much for joining us here this week on the Blue Sky Lounge. And just remember to think, dream, believe, and dare yourself to use your imagination. Who knows what kind of blue sky thinking you can do from your armchair. Thanks.